What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Acts of Creation. And in this week's lesson, we're going to dig into harmonic minor a little bit and maybe pull out some fun, crunchy chords we can incorporate into our songwriting, our part writing, melody writing, all of that stuff, okay? So I am in a standard tuning. Down in the description below, you can find a link for the PDF and Guitar Pro tabs for this lesson. There'll be some extra stuff not covered in the lesson on those tabs, scale patterns and stuff like that, all right? So let's jump right into it. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with harmonic minor, we're gonna relate it to the major scale. And I know that seems kind of contradictory, but when we learn modes and other scales, we tend to relate them back to the major scale for their formula, right? So our major scale, we're gonna be in E major here, is this pattern. Okay, that's our major scale. And to make that harmonic minor, we only have to change two notes. The third note and the sixth. Both of those frets, both of those notes have to come down by one fret. So instead of 11, it's 10, and now it sounds like this. And hopefully that you can hear the lowering of the third note and the sixth note really bring out that minor angst, right? So that's our harmonic minor scale. Okay, intervallically it's a root, a second, a minor third, fourth, fifth, a minor sixth, major seventh, right? A half step below the root note, okay? So that's our harmonic minor scale. All right, so we're just changing, got that D sharp in there, right? That half step below. So when we change that one note, we put that D sharp into the scale, it's gonna give us some really crunchy chords that we can pull and use in our riffs, all right? Particularly the G major chord is gonna change to an augmented chord. Right, we're sharp fiving, raising the fifth. And what I mean by that is that when I play this G chord, this note is G, the fifth is D, G, A, B, C, D. It's 5 notes away. So we're sharping, raising the 5 in relation to G. And that gives us an augmented chord, which similarly to the diminished chord is symmetrical, right? So what I mean by symmetrical is you can move that chord like a diminished scale rather than minor thirds. It's major thirds. And it's basically any note, any one of those 3 notes, G, B, or D sharp. And those notes happen to be major thirds apart from each other. Right? Very fun little chord. And right next to that chord, on the second note of the scale, we actually have a diminished. Okay, so you have this chord, 9, 10, starting on our A string, 9, 10, 8, 10. And that's a great riff to right, just have some fun with, and nice crunchy palm muting angry riff, right? Kind of fun to do. Right? Really fun little chord to kind of interject and use the augmented chord and the diminished chord, right? So that's also going to lead us to a very fun arpeggio pattern that I like a lot, and that's kind of a 2-1-2-1 kind of pattern, right? 2 notes and then 1 note and then 2 notes and 1 note, right? And so if I were on F sharp and I play 9, 12, 10, 11, I'm sorry, 8, 11, 10, 8, 11. Okay? There are probably some, if you're familiar with diminished arpeggios, you know, these are not new shapes, we're just combining them, making a larger shape. So it's 2 notes, 1 note, 2 notes, right? 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And those lend themselves to be very fluid. And they are symmetrical, so you like, you know, Yingwei and the neoclassical shred, you can move those in minor thirds, 4 frets apart. So if it's on 9, you can do 12, 15. right? That kind of idea. Right? Very fun, symmetrical, fluid idea, okay? So I recently did a lesson on pentatonics and how to view those scale patterns in a new way, try to get out of the boxes, and that just happened to be in E minor. So let's just continue on that little thread for a little while. And so if you're familiar with your pentatonics, you can easily mix in these chords. So I can go right up this diminished chord right into E minor pentatonic. And just like we use the diminished chord to go in and out of the pentatonic, you can also do or use the augmented chord, right? So there's a lot of fun stuff, a lot of hidden gems you can find in the harmonic minor, and I particularly like that diminished chord and using that sharp 5 or the augmented chord. I think it sounds really good when you mix it in with your minor pentatonic. It allows you to kind of state an idea and then mix in some tensions and then go right back into what you were playing. On top of that, it also gives us some really cool crunchy chords we can incorporate into our riffage. All right, so down in the description below, you can find the links to all the tabs. And as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.